A new corridor of conflict is emerging, stretching from the Mediterranean to South Asia. This isn't a traditional war, but a shadowy contest of covert operations, airstrikes, and cyber attacks. Israel and Iran are at the center, their rivalry now reaching as far as Islamabad. The stakes are high, as alliances shift and old certainties dissolve. Israel's recent surge in military activity marks a shift from containment to direct confrontation, targeting Iranian assets even within Iran. This escalation is forcing every nation in the region to reassess its security and alliances. The conflict is defined by ambiguity. State actors use proxies, cyber attacks, and drones, all cloaked in deniability. The result is a simmering tension that rarely erupts into open war, but always threatens to. For Pakistan, caught between key players, the risks are immediate and profound. Instability from the Middle East now directly challenges Pakistan's balancing act between old allies and new realities. The extension of this conflict corridor connects two volatile regions, creating a potential global flashpoint. Understanding the motivations and anxieties of Tel Aviv, Tehran, and Islamabad is more critical than ever. The margin for error is shrinking with every covert strike and digital intrusion. The world watches, aware that the next misstep could have global consequences. The path forward is fraught with risk and the stakes have never been higher. Israel's military strategy, known as the campaign between the wars, is a doctrine of relentless, low-intensity operations to degrade Iran and its proxies. What began as strikes on weapons convoys in Syria has evolved into a global campaign: airstrikes, assassinations, and cyber attacks deep inside Iran. The goal: keep adversaries off balance and prevent them from gaining strength, all while avoiding all-out war. Each operation is calculated for maximum impact and plausible deniability, but the risk of escalation grows with every strike. Israel assumes it can control the escalation ladder, but as actions become bolder, the danger of miscalculation rises. The shadow war is a high-stakes gamble. One misstep could ignite a regional conflict. The world is watching to see if this strategy contains threats or unleashes a wider war. The stakes for Israel, Iran, and the entire region have never been higher. Syria is the main battleground for Israel and Iran's undeclared war. For Iran, Syria is a vital link to Hezbollah and a forward base against Israel. Israel's relentless airstrikes have forced Iran to adapt, dispersing assets and hardening facilities. Iran responds with patience and asymmetric tactics, using proxies and cyber attacks to avoid direct confrontation. The Syrian government is caught in the crossfire, unable to stop Israeli strikes, while Russia's role remains ambiguous. This crowded battlefield heightens the risk of a miscalculation spiraling into a larger conflict. Domestic pressure in Iran is mounting for a stronger response, raising the stakes. A major Israeli strike could force Iran's hand, risking a devastating escalation. Syria's front line is a barometer for regional stability. Every explosion could trigger a chain reaction. The risk of a catastrophic war is ever present and growing. For Pakistan, the Israel-Iran conflict is a direct strategic concern, not a distant issue. Pakistan's border with Iran means any instability next door is a national security threat. The growing Israel-India partnership alarms Islamabad, raising fears of advanced Israeli technology and intelligence, tipping the balance against Pakistan. This alignment is seen as part of a broader encirclement, with Israeli tactics potentially adopted by India. Pakistan is forced to walk a diplomatic tightrope, balancing ties with Iran, Gulf states, and its own security needs. The Shadow War's ripple effects are forcing Pakistan to rethink its alliances and strategic posture. The Abraham Accords reshaped Middle Eastern alliances, with Arab states openly partnering with Israel against Iran. For Pakistan, this challenges decades of pan-Islamic solidarity and support for Palestine. As Gulf allies embrace Israel, Pakistan faces pressure to reconsider its stance, risking isolation if it doesn't adapt. The new Israel-Gulf axis complicates Pakistan's balancing act. Aligning with Iran risks Gulf ties, but siding with the new bloc could provoke Iran and domestic backlash. The old certainties are gone. Pakistan must navigate a web of conflicting interests. Its closest Arab allies now partner with India's defense ally Israel, deepening Pakistan's strategic dilemma. The Abraham Accords have redrawn the map, forcing Pakistan to make choices that will shape its future. The Israel-Iran conflict is a proving ground for new forms of warfare: drones and cyber attacks. Israel's advanced drones enable precise strikes deep in enemy territory, while Iran's cost-effective drones empower its proxies across the region. The drone war is a great equalizer, allowing both sides to inflict damage from afar. In cyberspace, both nations wage a relentless battle. Israel targeting Iran's nuclear program, Iran probing Israeli networks. These technologies lower the barriers to sophisticated conflict, making regional wars more unpredictable. For Pakistan, the concern is twofold: defending against these threats and watching India leverage Israeli expertise. The digital and drone battlefields erase distance, making every regional conflict interconnected. The new rules of engagement are being written in real time. The US is pivoting away from the Middle East, focusing on great power competition with China and Russia. This recalibration leaves regional actors to fill the vacuum, spurring new alliances like the Abraham Accords. Israel feels compelled to act more assertively, while Iran sees both opportunity and risk in America's reduced presence. The absence of a dominant external power makes the region more volatile and self-reliant. For Pakistan, the US shift means less diplomatic clout and a need to diversify alliances, especially with China. Islamabad's relevance to Washington has waned, complicating its ability to influence regional dynamics. The changing US role forces every nation to navigate a more complex and dangerous landscape. Old security guarantees are fading, replaced by uncertainty. The region must now chart its own course amid rising instability. The conflict corridor from Tel Aviv to Islamabad is dangerously unstable. Shadow wars, drones, cyber attacks, assassinations operate in a gray zone, but the risk of escalation is real. One miscalculation could trigger a regional war with global consequences: disrupted oil flows, refugee crises, and economic turmoil. For Pakistan, conflict on its western border would be catastrophic. In this environment, diplomacy and back-channel communication are more vital than ever. International actors must mediate and de-escalate, while civil society pushes for restraint. Only renewed commitment to diplomacy and cooperation can prevent disaster. The alternative is a sleepwalk toward catastrophe, one misstep from plunging the region into chaos.